Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're kicking off a new series by diving into something truly special. A full 4th and 5th edition Orcs and Goblins Warhammer army that I recently picked up as part of a huge lot. I've been sorting through the models, laying them out, and honestly, this army is a time capsule. In this first episode, I'm giving you the full army overview before we break everything down unit by unit in upcoming videos. Now, most of these miniatures will be heading to my website soon for purchase. But before they march off to new homes, I want to give these classic sculpts the spotlight they deserve. What you're looking at is pretty much the entire range for that era. Characters, infantry, war machines, squigs, boar boys, trolls. If it was in the catalog or in a 1990s White Dwarf magazine, it's probably here on this table. They're unruly, unpredictable, and absolutely packed with personality. Before we start looking at individual units, I want to step back and talk about what really defines Orcs and Goblins as a race in Warhammer Fantasy. The 4th edition army book does an incredible job of setting the tone for who these creatures are, not just on the tabletop, but in the world itself. So for a moment, let's open the book and hear how Games Workshop originally described the greenskins during the Classic era. I'll be reading directly from the 4th edition army book. Orcs. Orcs vary in height and their physical appearance more than humans. Some are no taller than a man, but most are substantially larger, and the biggest orcs stand well over 7 feet tall. They are also much broader than humans, with big, deep chests, massive shoulders, and long, powerfully muscled arms. Orcs have large heads with huge jaws, but tiny foreheads behind which lurk a thick skull and not very much brain. Despite their apparent lack of intelligence, orcs are not stupid, although they are rather limited in the way they think and act. They're not the deepest thinkers in the world, but neither are they doubtful or divided. When an orc wants to do something, he simply does it, where a human might spend untold time weighing the alternatives. Goblins. Like their big relatives, the orcs, goblins vary in size, although they are typically smaller than orcs and usually smaller than a man. Goblins have quick, nimble fingers and small, darting eyes. Their teeth are tiny and very pointy. Compared to the large, powerful bodies of the orcs, goblins look rather thin and scrawny, with gangly arms. Their voices are much higher pitched than those of orcs, and they are extremely noisy and garrulous, where orcs are inclined to speak slowly and infrequently, considering the determined glare and comparison of fangs to be sufficient communication in most situations. Goblins are more intelligent than orcs and love nothing better than trading and bartering with their slow-witted relatives, because they always come out best. Goblin tribes are partly nomadic. They move about from plain to forest, or along the river valleys and in between the mountain passes where they buy, sell, or steal things that they can resell to other orcs or goblins later on. Goblin tribes are often accompanied by huge caravans of scrap metal, captured monsters in crude wooden cages, or even men, dwarfs, or elves that they have trapped and enslaved. Outriders mounted on huge slavering wolves patrol the area to the tribe's front, probing for enemies and scouting out small settlements that can be raided and pillaged. Some goblins become very wealthy by trading in this way, and the tribe's king becomes exceedingly rich. Goblins like to show off their wealth. A really successful goblin trader wears countless rings, ornamental daggers, swords, and the biggest helmet he can comfortably balance on his head. Others spend their ill-gotten gains on fast chariots, which they race against each other, trying to outdo their rivals by having the fastest or flashiest machine. Goblins can acquire a great variety of weaponry as they travel about, either looted or traded with other orcs and goblins. Now let's take a closer look at the army. Up front we have the infamous Grom the Paunch of Misty Mountain, with some unpredictable squig hoppers to his right and metal night goblins to his left. A horde of snotlings next to them, and some night goblin shamans. Maybe they've put this giant to sleep with their potions. Some orc Biggins have taken position on the hill next to a Special Order 3-wolf chariot and plastic orc arrow boys in the back. On our next pass we have some clubbers and netters, some mobs of squig hunters on their backs. Following them we have Night Goblin fanatics and 2 snotling pump wagons, one the original and one scratch-built, metal Night Goblin archers, 3 river trolls, and a unit of plastic orc boys. Back to the front, on the left are a few special characters and Forest Goblin spider riders, with a large unit of black orcs next to them. A big block of goblin spearmen that came in the 4th edition box set, next to metal orc boys with spears. A unit of 10 goblin wolf riders, 3 stone trolls, 3 doom divers, and Azhag the Slaughterer still in his box. Back to the front for our last pass, we have a unit of orc boys, an orc shaman, metal orc arrow boys, a unit of Night Goblin archers from the 4th edition box set, 10 savage orc boar boys with a shaman, 2 ogres, and a rock lobber. Thanks for watching episode 1 of the series. If you want to follow along as we break down this entire army piece by piece, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling me which orc and goblin unit you remember from back in the 4th and 5th edition. And if you'd like to support me, please take a look at my web store at blackarrowminis.com. More Oldhammer goodness is on the way, so sharpen your choppas and prepare for the wah.